The Eastern Cape floods killed 14 people. The heavy rains, which started pouring down in the early hours of Saturday a week ago, have left hundreds of residents homeless in the province. The most affected areas are Township of Mdantsane, Duncan Village, Nkanduli, Libode, and other small towns in the OR Tambo district. Roads and bridges collapsed, people drowned, livestock died due to floods. Government officials visited the affected areas in Buffalo City. Premier Oscar Mabuyane says this situation should have been avoided years back.
You can see there, other than just to give them what their body needs, but also you need a psychosocial support. People have been affected, their houses have been submerged in this water. Unfortunately, it's one of those cases that should have been avoided a long time ago. It's not happening for the first time. It has happened almost 10, 15 years ago, and people were told to be moved out of here, and then houses were built somewhere. But again, in terms of allocation of houses, the problem happens.
Nonceba Pamla, who has lost her 18-year-old daughter, Awetu Pamla, says she is still in shock. Awetu was doing grade 12.
Ndithi ibhedi ziyadada. Ngiyani kuqale yena kuqaniba uyoyika. Wathi mama masiphumeni manapha. Waphuma uthexele lapha ume apha eminyango lo umncinci na 16 years. Wathi mama nanku awethu ehamba. Ndiye ndaphuma bendithatha into ezibalekile, ndithatha uniform ne-toiletry bag ezinento zothambisa ne-ID. Ndihambe namanzi ndabe ndimleqa nomntana lo umncinci wabesileqa. Yena ke ududulwe kakhulu ngamanzi thina singene apha emithini phakathi khona imithi lapha phakathi engagungqiyo sagwencela kulaa mithi phofu kwamna ngendimkile nditsalwe kwangulo une-16 years.
Premier Mabuyane promised Nonceba that the provincial government will assist in terms of funeral arrangements.
It's going to assist the family in terms of the funeral arrangement. It's part of the disaster that we are working on, or emergency, so to speak, because disaster must be declared as disaster. So we are here to make sure that we get to the bottom of all this, but our technical teams are on the ground to make this overall assessment. But here you are dealing with an exceptional case, an extraordinary situation now that there is a fatality here. So we must definitely make sure that we minimize this double jeopardy, that people don't have home, they've also lost life.
Premier Mabuyane also visited a family of Captain Piero Max, who was working for SAPS as a diver. Captain Piero died at Nawun River trying to rescue 4 people that were drowning. Mabuyane mentioned that the Eastern Cape province will need assistance from the national government in order to help all the affected areas. The executive mayor, Xola Phakathi, says these residents are building on the riverbanks. He mentioned that the Buffalo City have a program of relocating the people of Duncan Village to Mtsotso temporary houses.
We are quite disturbed by the fact that our people are building informal settlements right on the banks of the rivers and ravines, which is a big challenge. We have removed the people who were here before, but once we leave an open space, people would come in and rebuild the place, and that's why we have a disaster now. What worries us most is that with the climate change, this is going to be a permanent feature.
MEC Xolile Nqatha, who is a coordinator of disaster management appointed by Premier Mabuyane, explains more.
As a provincial government, we have set up an interministerial committee appointed by the Premier, headed by Kokcha, to coordinate these disasters. What these incidents underline is the reality of climate change, that these disasters are going to occur. And we have built capacity in all district municipalities, have disaster management centers. We have got our own provincial disaster management center, which is doing the coordination. We have finished with the assessments that were being done in OR Tambo, in Raymond Mhlaba, and other municipalities that were affected. And in some areas, we have begun to provide temporary shelters for those who have lost their own houses as a result.
One of the affected residents in Duncan village says she lost everything.
Indudumo kwanetha kwezimvula enkulu enamatye kwagcwala ngokhawulezo olukhulu elidama igali lam linefriji lineebhedi asinandawo zolala iifriji zodubula ngumbane iisofa zitshone emanzini sonakalelwe apho ubona la magali athi ezinzi bebekhohlwa ukuphuma abantwana phaa kula magali bekhohlwa ukuphuma
lahlekelwe into yonke ndinguzamkhitha ndiyathengisa izinto zilapha ndizizame ndimali ndithengisa iitshokolethi ndihlala nomntanam ndimlahlekelwe yonke into njengoba ubona apha phandle akho nto ndinayo ndilala emizini ndivuka emizini nangoku nifikayo kwazi uthetha sisindonakele kwazi uthetha ndimoshakalele ezi zinto ndinazo andinafemeli lapha ndingwaseTranskei apha ndandizofuna umsebenzi ento ndizizamile nazidistroyeke apha.
The Gift of the Givers Foundation assisted the victims with food and mattresses. Corinne Conrad elaborates.
Behind me, how people are still queuing for aid since yesterday. Our team have been serving food yesterday till midnight, and still people, some of them said they've never ate the whole day. So people are left without their homes. Some of them are placed in a shelter. Some of the people are scared to leave their homes and their belongings behind. And there's people that lost everything. There's an 18-year-old that has drowned right here where we are standing. And the mother came home from the hospital to absolutely nothing. Gift of the Givers is on the ground distributing mattresses, food. You can see there's a soup kitchen present here, blankets and clothing, which is the immediate need as well.
About a month ago, the Ora Tambo district was attacked by the tornado, which left scores of residents homeless. Some lost their lives. The residents say these tornadoes happen every year and they never get any assistance from the Ora Tambo district municipality. MEC Nqatha says the national government assisted the Ora Tambo district municipality with 41 million rand to assist residents that were affected by the storm. But they later found out that the money was used to pay salaries of the employees in this municipality.
It is a matter that we are attending to as a provincial government. You will recall that just for more than a year before the last local government elections, that municipality has been engulfed with political conflicts, which resulted in a total neglect of what council is supposed to do. And now that we have got a new council, there is every reason for us to believe that we're going to attend with those issues, because the national government did provide 41 million was transferred to the district municipality to attend to those issues. That was not done. And we're still making a follow-up as to where are those funds, because they were not spent. If they are not there, they were not even spent for the purposes that they were supposed to do. That is a matter being attended to.
The executive mayor of the Ora Tambo district, Mesuli Ngondwana, agreed that the money was transferred, but the former executive mayor, Thokozile Sokanyile, used it for other things.
The 41 million ekuthethwa ngayo is the money that it appears was allocated, I think towards the end of 2020 to the previous, I would say, previous political administration. There was hope, especially from Department of Human Settlement, that normally is a mali available. Ebekunolindeleka indoba kwezi disaster kube kuzawuba khona intervention eyenzekayo ngayo. But upon perusal of documents and information, we discovered that it is part of the monies that I would say were misappropriated because they were not used for what they are supposed to have been used for. Zasetshenziswa kwezinye functions, I would imagine, including into a payment of salaries, etc.
He added that the most affected areas by recent floods are deep rural areas in Libote and in Tsolo. Ngqondwana says he visited one of the families that have lost a 17-year-old boy.
Many families have been affected, and there was loss of livestock. I know kukhona umzi oluze 146 sheep esirhaxwe ngamanzi, omnye 30. Imizi emibini enyandeni ithe yaphulukana namalungu osapho. Omnye udlalwe inkosi esendlini kowabo. Omnye ngumfana obesukela ebholeni wangena ekanti isikhukhula akasiqaphelanga uba simandla, so wabe nayo yarhaxwa, wayofunyanwa ke kusuku olulandelayo.
These heavy rains also affected health centers in Buffalo City. The MEC of Health Department, Noma Khosazana Meth, visited Notyatyambo Clinic to assess the damage.
The Notyatyambo CHC, it flooded, but we are still busy with the assessments as we speak. In terms of the costing, we shall finalize that by Thursday, but already we have started to restore some services that were interrupted because seemingly the pre-assessment that was done by the technicians, they found that there was a blockade or a pipe was blocked or a drain was blocked, which caused therefore water to go back to the gutterings, and that caused the flooding. And the reception area was affected, the maternity, and many other services except for trauma. Doctors' rooms, pharmacies, and many areas were flooded.
The Minister of Social Development, Lindiwe Zulu, came through to assess the damage and interact with all key stakeholders. Minister Zulu is calling on to people to understand the climate change.
But ukufika kwami apha ndithole ukuba vele bayasebenzisana, and i-report engitholile yi-report engibonisayo ukuba at least between the three spheres of government isikhona lento ukuthi what lessons have we learned in the past to make sure ukuthi siya improve.
Homeless residents in Duncan Village and in Mdantsane are now kept in a community hall. Minister of Human Settlements, Mamoluko Kubai, also visited the community of Duncan Village and Mdantsane, and she made arrangements for the affected residents to be relocated with immediate effect to Mtsotso temporary houses. As for now, only 23 residents have been relocated.
We have agreed today that we are moving all those who are in the halls to the temporary TRUs that are already constructed around Duncan Village area. We have agreed with both the province and the municipality in terms of utilizing the disaster fund that is available from national to be able to intervene. So we'll continue to do the assessment.
Joy filled their hearts as they were relocating to their new homes.
Ndisiva kamnandi kakhulu mntanam, andisavuyi uThixo kanti kususa kabuhlungu endaweni embi, akusendaweni ebanzi kabuhlungu, kungenwa ngamanzi endlini, amagumbi agcwele ngamanzi, i-wardrobe, iintoni zam, kodwa andikhali ngoba uThixo ndibeke endaweni ebanzi.
The funeral of the late Captain Piero Max, who passed away while rescuing floods victims, was held at Calvary Church in Quickney in East London. Minister of Police Bheki Cele attended the funeral, and he says Captain Phiri will always be remembered for his humanity.
Usually, including last week, I attend the funerals where the police die violently in the hands of criminals. We usually have very angry funerals. Today, if there is anything like that, there is a peaceful send-off, a good send-off of a person that has been a complete human being. People could have known him as a police, but there was a lot of human being in him. The call we'll make from where we are is to say his colleagues must really learn a lot from him in terms of skills, but in terms of behavior and in terms of being just humans.
According to South African Weather Service, heavy rains are still expected to hit the Eastern Cape province. Now the show has come to an end. Let's meet again on Wednesday next week. I am Lumka Pekindawo.